to go to the chat. Someone was asking about playfulness. Um, yeah, Sonali, thank you. Um, so for me, playfulness, the way I'm talking about it here is playfulness is a consequence of all this need satisfaction, in children in particular. So I would refer you to Peter Gray's work on play as a good understanding of it. I think he might overstates some of his points, but it's pretty close to about right. So playfulness, I wouldn't necessarily try to put parameters around it other than to say there has to be some, you know, the yeah, I'm thinking of it more as a consequence of a certain set of conditions around needs, rather than saying it's some specific set of properties. But if I were needed to, I would go to Peter Gray's work, and on play and either just say, there you go, or say, okay, like I'm trying to remember, there's one condition that he sets on play that I'm not 100% convinced is 100% necessary. And I like things like opting out, I think is it has to be voluntary. It has to be, the activities have to be um, felt in a certain way to be, and then this is where the autonomy piece is something, it's not a condition in the world, it's something people perceive. So one interesting piece of research showed that autonomy as is can be felt, can be the need can be met even if somebody else makes the decision for you. Um, so in Hong Kong, they did this research where they had kids, uh, uh, they had I think four or five groups, where the kids chose a puzzle themselves. They had their peers choose it for them. They had their mother or their teacher. So four conditions. And what they found was that depending on how good the relationship with that mother or teacher was, them making the decision for the child could be felt as autonomous as if they'd made it themselves. And so there are contexts where other people making a decision for you is autonomy supportive. And so that means that the idea of it all has to be entirely the child's decision is not technically correct. It has to be a decision that uh, the quality of relationship with the decision maker is the crucial thing. Turns out that children trust themselves more than anyone else. Not surprising. But they can be in a relationship that's very trusting with an adult and have that adult make a decision for them. But that means that they trust that person. They trust that they understand me. If you understand me really well, and I like get that, then you making the decision for me is fine. If I don't trust you, then it's not okay. And so there's a condition there. If we have a really trusting relationship, you can make decisions on my behalf. But if we don't, all bets are off. And that's where the disengagement piece in particular, it's really important that the context of those decisions is set out clearly. Like you have to establish the relationship, then you can start to make decisions. It's not even going to be once you really understand that person, it's not like you're making decisions and telling them what to do in the sense of controlling them, because that's the opposite. But if they really trust you and you make a decision in that context, great, no problem. Um, but that's where schools fail, is that they don't have adequate feedback about the quality of the relationship between a teacher and a student in order to assess whether or not that's the appropriate way to behave. Teach schools assume teachers must be in control, and that's why you get at least 5% of your kids in resistance mode, even at young ages. Um, Whereas when you shift that, and for instance, the schools where kids are making a choice to be in the instructional situation, which is known as democratic schools in a lot of cases, but there's a lot of other variations that have similar things. Like Montessori, done well, is the kids are feeling like, yeah, I get to participate and I get to make choices and I get to be in this environment in a way that fits for me. Um, Now, done poorly, it could be controlling, and so that's a challenge. But that's where I think we need to be very careful about how we address the mainstream and figure out how to get this kind of information flowing so that we can assess what is the quality of relationship. And that's something that the current data-driven mainstream doesn't even consider how kids or teachers are experiencing just the educational context.